Alan F. Ready here. I have Devon Butler, local to Atlanta, the founder and creator of Evolve Basketball app. He has grown his social media profile with that app to over 100,000 followers on Instagram. And I have him on the line today. Devon, how's it going, my man?
Going real good. Glad to be on.
Thanks, man. So I actually just connected with you because I saw that you reached out to Jordan Lawley, one of my clients, and saw that he was actually building content for your app. Do you want to give the viewers a description of Evolve Basketball and what they could get signing up for the app?
Yeah, so basically we're all on one platform. We have, a social media aspect, but the main thing that we introduce to the app and have for the kids is a way for them to train online. And
Hmm.
so the app started off with just myself and my co-founder David Cobb and my brother Devontae and other people like Dorian Lee, who's a trainer here in Atlanta. And then we got our first big ambassador, which is my best friend Brandon Armstrong and Famous Los, and those guys came along. But as we started growing the business, and with the help of Brandon Armstrong and Famous Los, the business grew so fast we didn't have enough time to keep making videos. And
Okay.
it's our point to where we're at today, where we grew fast. We've been making a lot of content and stuff. But in order to run the business and have the app run smoothly, we need to be behind the scenes and on the computer. So that's when I started reaching out to guys like Jordan, Lawley, and Dorian Lee, and then also NBA players. And
Hmm.
so by doing that, now we're able to take the pressure off ourselves and make it content and have the guys who actually make content all the time on the platform. So the main goal right now is we're trying to get all the kids on the platform and to get guys like Jordan and other NBA players where they could get their workouts right there on their phone.
Okay, that's awesome. So for those not familiar, so you're talking about Brandon Armstrong, B Dot.
Yeah, B dot. Yeah, B dot. Yeah.
Okay,
So B
cool.
dot. And so the two people who helped kick the app off was B dot and Famous Los. So those are
Okay.
friends of mine, and they've kicked it off. And guys who've stepped in now, including them, is Bone Collector. He's one of
Uh-huh.
our ambassadors in Filet.
That's awesome.
Yep.
B Dot
Yep.
used to play, so I used to play, or I still play at Georgia Tech, the CRC, and I used to see him there all the time. So that's cool that I didn't know you were connected with him, but that's
Yeah.
cool finding out.
We grew up together. So.
Okay, that's awesome, man. So one of the biggest things that I get working with my clients, and I think for the viewers, is starting out. So how did exactly this form for you, or what was the idea, and then how did you go about doing the initial process of building it out?
Oh, well, basically, I was coming back from Norway and uh, I got cut from the team, so I was at home more so training kids. And the
Hmm.
main thing I noticed with kids where they wasn't retaining information or progressing like how I felt like they should. One part of it is they have to work out on their own, but the second part is that once you leave me, you either got to visualize it or that's it. So on YouTube, there's just a lot of random content. There's some good, there's some bad, but I wanted to
Hmm.
make a credible source where they could get it all in one platform, and that's what we did with Evolve. And we started with making designs. So I went to Southern Poly in Marietta, and
Okay.
so I know how to do graphic design and video and stuff like that. So I started making it, making the app and things like that, and then eventually it started to come to fruition. So I started in December of 2015. And then we ended up launching it in May of 2016. So once we got that going and got some developers to help code it, we launched the first iOS version in May.
And I guess one of the biggest things that I've from hearing people's stories of success is building a team versus being like a solopreneur. So what would you say on that when, first it was just an idea in your head and then as you started building it out, getting people on board, what were the biggest things that help you grow your team?
Well, so the thing is, you're not going to survive without a team. You're only going to be able to go so far, period. So I also tell people it depends what you're really trying to do. If you're trying to just make money for yourself, or if you're trying to actually build something. And even if you're trying to make money for yourself, you're going to need a little bit of help, but that doesn't require too much a spouse or a friend. But if you're really trying to build something, you need a team of people who believe in it just as much as you do. So a lot of companies, especially in the Silicon Valley area, they look for partners or they just look for people to come work for them. But
Hmm.
that doesn't always work because that's basically like you're finding somebody, paying them a salary, and making them work, as opposed to getting people to come on with you that believe in it the same way you do it and want to learn the ins and out or know it. So having a team and having a team with people who have your skill set but different skill sets. So
Hmm.
the problem with a lot of people, a lot of companies also, you get all people that's like minded. So everyone in our team is different. We have similarities, but we have a lot of differences. But that's how we're able to mold the basketball app and the training platform because we're all not thinking the same thing. So you're able to have different aspects. If everybody agrees with each other and look at everything from the same perspective. I mean, it
Hmm.
could work, it couldn't work, but you're gonna miss out on a lot of stuff.
That makes total sense. Something I wanted to add is, how you've grown your business through digital marketing, such as your Instagram, your YouTube. You were getting a little bit into it there. Do you want to give advice for people in the basketball space on how it has helped grow your brand and ideas on how they could, leverage it as well for their business?
Right. So the main thing is to be authentic and to do stuff that's never been done, to push the norm. Don't just try to copy what you see a Jordan might do, or a DJ Sackman, or a Tyler, or myself, or other people. Because doing that, you're just trying to find your niche. So all those trainers that I named, and even the ambassadors, they have their own niche.
Hmm.
Jordan is a lefty, so he do a lot of stuff where he's quick pound dribblers. DJ Sackman, he does a lot of stuff off the wing and teaching. So it just depends on what you want to do. But once you find your niche, you build your audience, especially since Instagram is more so based off of algorithm. Once you build that audience, a lot of people is going to go towards your page. So I have other people who I've seen, like Drills and Skills Basketball.
Hmm.
All of his videos are, he has his kids doing it and he's narrating the videos, every video. But that's his niche, that's his platform.
Here we have a great drill to improve your offhand when attacking off the dribble with speed and control. Watch how Chris makes a hard pound, a push-pull dribble, keeping it wide with his offhand, then shapes his hips and explodes.
And that's the following that he have. So our thing is more catered towards the kids, and we're more well-rounded. So we show
Hmm.
advanced stuff, we show intermediate stuff, we show beginner stuff, because that's our audience. And so it shows when we deviate from those different things, the views, the downloads, and all that stuff. So we stick within ourselves, and then we branch off and broaden our audience slowly instead of just trying to appease everybody. You're not going to make everybody happy.
Hmm. What advice would you give to people just starting out using like social media? Because a lot of times when people are just jumping in, they have a hard time, understanding like the concepts or the vision of how it's a long-term game, and
Yeah.
maybe they're kind of sad that they don't get the initial impressions they got. What would you say to them on like continuing the grind of following and just going into the routine?
Be patient and be consistent. And also, if you have money to get some ambassadors or to pay to get it on certain pages, that's helpful. So since Instagram has changed throughout the years, so when I first started, you could honestly just use hashtags, and then if you get a whole bunch of likes and views on it real quick, you're at the top of those hashtags, and everybody see it.
Hmm.
And even before that, Instagram was on a time. So if you post at 1:30, everybody posts from there and see it. But now you see stuff from a day later, 2 days later, stuff that got a whole bunch of likes. So everything has changed. So you have to stay on top of the technology and the changes from Facebook and Instagram. And you have to spend some money. So everybody you've seen, they spent money. You've gotten shout out for shout out. So you have to be creative. Just posting it and on your own, that's not going to work. Also, I tell people your captions have to be creative, not too long, not too short. Look for action captions. So that means tag a friend, or comment what you think about this video, or use an emoji to describe it. Those actions allow Instagram to push your videos up to the front, because if you get a lot of people to comment and like on it, it shows up in the explore page and at the top of the timeline.
That's excellent advice. Yeah, another term for that is call to actions. So really just asking your audience or your people to have engagement, and like you said, it does uh, boost up the algorithms to where they'll appear on Instagram. Something I wanted to also ask in terms of um, different avenues you've tried or pivoting. Was there something besides Evolve that you were maybe thinking about doing, or did it just you had this one idea and you just rolled with
More so been roll with it, so we haven't pivoted from it yet. The main thing that we're doing is going to go into other sports. So we pivoted within the app like a million times. Like
it?
I'm
Hmm.
doing it right now, because like some stuff are fast, some stuff work, some stuff don't work. You don't know a lot of stuff until you actually try it.
Yeah.
So within the app, yeah, but outside as far as the ideas, no. But I pivoted, and it's hard to keep patience also when you're spending money, losing money, making money. So the thing is, you just gotta you know be patient with some things, and then also know when to pivot, because sometimes you have to pivot quick, sometimes you don't need to pivot right away. So it could hurt you and it can help you at the same time.
Yeah. And just to clarify, thanks for the viewers who may watch this. So pivoting is it's almost like a startup slash entrepreneurial term where you kind of make little adjustments to your business of what your business is going to be about. Not so drastic pivots, but kind of just like minor steps in different direction.
Right.
So awesome. Something I wanted to ask, because you know, just a little background about myself. So I do a digital marketing agency and I help others grow their brand and stuff of that nature. And really when I consult with people about creating content or editing the content, they get this feeling of it's too much work or a lot of work, or maybe they don't have money to outsource to people. So I wanted to get your thoughts on, because you said that you studied marketing and stuff of that nature and you learned how to do editing yourself. What would you say to people, who need to get into social media but may not exactly have the tools or the skills necessary, and what should they do?
Practice, edit on your phone. I mean, if you have an iPhone or one of the high-level Samsungs like the iPhone 10, you can shoot up to 4K or 1020 HD. So you gotta look at what you're trying to do and what you're trying to capture. If you have an iPhone, you could put it up to 1280 by 720 at 60 frames per second. And so that means if you're using a lot of slow-mo, you want to use 60 frames per second. So when you slow it down, it doesn't look jittery and stuff like that. If you have stuff if you want to use more interviews, you go for more 4K where you're not moving a lot. So it just depends what you're looking for, but you got to start off somewhere. So download an editing tool or use iMovie on the iPhone and just keep editing. And you're going to continue to get better and better. So you don't have to be a professional. Those days have passed for at least the Instagram and Facebook. Now, for our app purposes, since I have the skill set and our videos on a different level, that's fine. But the more you practice, the more you're going to get better. So if I look at even my stuff from 2-3 years ago compared to now, it's better, because every time you edit and make a video, it's going to get better, and get people's opinions on the video. And so also look at square formats and the wide format. So depending on what type of video you're showing, it's going to get you different traction. So close-up videos in a square format tend to do better because it's close-up, it's more personable. Using popular songs, but not too popular, because if you use a song that's too popular, Instagram and Facebook takes it down. So things like that, you have to be creative. But the whole video editing thing, and people use that as an excuse and stuff, man, you can't use it as an excuse. You just got to practice, because the phones pretty much do everything for you nowadays. Now, 3, 4, 5 years ago, yes, you did need more help. But now, as fast as you can record a video, is as fast as you can edit it and put it online.
Awesome. So a little bit more about me. So a lot of the mindset that I developed, talking about like practicing and where you're at is where you're at, comes from, people in the space like Gary Vaynerchuk or Lewis Hughes or any of those people. Did you have any of those mentors or people who helped you cultivate the right mindset? And if you'd like to give them a shout out, or kind of just talk about, having the right mindset for growing your business.
Well, for the right mindset as far as growing my business, Dorian Lee. So he was my trainer and he's on the app. And so he the one who got me started geared towards business, because we all had to go into the NBA and playing high level overseas. But he saw the talent that I had as far as business and entrepreneurship, and he pushed me to do that. And he taught me a lot about business. And in return, once I got to a certain level, I taught him a lot about the social media aspect, because especially a lot of older people, he's not older, but just not my generation, the social media thing is kind of new. And so after he taught me the business aspect, I was able to teach him the social media aspect and build his following.
Awesome. So for any other like trainers out there, one of the things that I'm experiencing when coaching them or helping them like kind of start their brand is, thinking that they don't have time. Like, do you want to go into like the amount of hustle and grind that it was starting for you to kind of inspire them and kind of get rid of their excuses that a lot of people have when it just comes down to making content and stuff like that?
Yeah, so like if you're a trainer, you're in the gym every day, so every day is content. So every time you train kids, that's content. So a lot of times, especially when I was first starting, I would either get in the gym early, or we really can't get in there early, because if you get in there early, you don't have nobody to hold the phone for you. So after workouts, what I was doing is, like, I have one of the kids just say, I have them record me like 3-4 times. I just make three videos while the kids are still in there and say, hey, record me real quick. Or while I'm teaching something in the workouts, I give the phone to one of the kids. And obviously I would have to start to get my brother and people to help me. So, but every workout, I would record the workouts. So like record little snippets of the moves. So you don't want to get away from recording the whole entire workout. You just want to get snippets. And then if you have 3 or 4 sessions for the day, you use some of that film, chop it up, and you make a whole bunch of different segments of it, and that's content. So and then at like I said, at the beginning of workouts when kids first get in, or at the end of workouts, if you're a trainer, you should be able to knock down shots or do drills real quick. You get it done. Also, a quick way to get content when you're about to show the kids the drills, you give them the phone and you have them record you showing it, and then you get the phone back and then they go ahead and get started. So you just every workout, every drill, you got to show them first. You do it first yourself, but just have them record you.
So it's almost as if, you know, really just learning how to leverage your time appropriately to record content, since, you know, I always said you're going to be doing this stuff anyways, you might as well just document everything and record everything.
Right. Obviously when we first started, we used to have like days where we specifically just went in the gym and record when I got my team and stuff together. But when you do get busy, you don't have days like that. So it might be like today from 4 to 5, I literally might just go in the gym with somebody just to record videos, but I don't do that as much anymore.
Okay, that makes sense. So in terms of like growing like multi-channels, what would you recommend? Because you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube. How would you recommend for people just getting started? Should they approach all platforms or just focus on one?
You gotta focus on one. So I focused on my Instagram first, then I started building the Twitter, and then now I sync everything from Instagram and Facebook. So now the Facebook is building, but all the money got spent on the Instagram first, and then a little bit of Twitter sprinkled in there.
Okay.
So the Instagram and Facebook is just synced together at this point. So now the Facebook is growing, but everything I went full throttle with Instagram. I just got lucky. I got in at the tail end before they changed the algorithm and stuff. So it was back to when you post, you see it, and then we became popular when there was the whole hashtag era when you could put a whole bunch of them. So you could put like 30 at that time, and then when you put 30 of them, if you get like 6 of them, to get 6 of them a hit, and they'll go to the top, and then videos would just go viral. But it don't work like that no more because, you know, Instagram and Facebook want to make their money, and that was stopping them from making money.
Yeah, so they changed the algorithm. So what would you recommend, like if you were to start back or just start today? Yeah, what would you recommend someone like, you know, trying to make impact in the basketball world?
It's harder now. It's a lot harder now than when I first started. Basically, trying to get your stuff reposted on other people's pages and paying for posts, but more so by ambassadors instead of the pages. Doing stuff late night on weekends. So stick more to weekends.
Okay.
You know, weekends because that's when all the kids are on their phone. During the summer, it's a little different. You could kind of post whenever, but during the year, I mainly post on weekends. But finding an ambassador maybe, but posting on those pages. So make yourself a budget. Say if it's $1,000 a month, find you about 5 to 6 pages and get consistent with posting on them. So you start to build your audience. So if you're spending, you know, $250 a week, about 50, 60 bucks a page to get something in the store, you're gonna grow about 1,000, 2,000 followers a month.
Okay.
So, I mean a week.
Okay. So you're talking about like almost leveraging, I guess what they would call is like influencer marketing, stuff like that.
But I mean, if you're just a regular basketball trainer, it's gonna be hard for you to get another trainer to just do it unless you actually know them. So you're gonna have to pay for like those basketball pages.
Okay. So what would you recommend they find, like people just starting out, like where can they find this information, stuff like that, or who to contact?
Oh, I didn't find it. I had to, when I just was, you know, on Instagram and stuff, searching using hashtags like basketball videos or stuff like that. You start seeing the popular pages that got 1 million, 2 million, 200,000 and stuff.
Yeah.
And once you get something posted on one, the other ones will message you because they're trying to make money.
Okay.
So basically on Instagram, if you're trying to look for other pages that's like that, if you just press that little drop down menu and it show you the suggested people, you know, it'll show you other pages that's like that.
Okay. And then basically just like network, DM them, do whatever you got to do to.
So basically, once you talk to one, some of them want they'll put you on with other ones, or they're like, well, we could do a package deal on other pages, and then it kind of works from there. And then they'll contact you also because they all follow each other.
Okay, that's awesome. So I'm kind of wrapping up now. One of the last questions I want to ask is always like, what is the best piece of advice that you've gotten, or that you would also give to people, from your experience and creating your business and launching and going on digital marketing? What would you say to people who may watch this video on, following their passions?
Well, one, like the main thing I tell people, it's not about if it's right, it's about getting it right. So, I've done a lot of stuff or whatever, and I thought it was right. So it's not about if you mess up because you're gonna mess up. It's about getting it right and fixing it. So that's one advice that I've gotten and I want to give. And basically, from the standpoint of it's gonna be good days and bad days, but the good days are gonna be awesome, and the bad days are gonna be bad. But it just matters how long you want to be persistent and how bad you want it. And so I had to learn that, especially through this 2-year path. There's days that I want to just quit and say F it. And there's days where I just feel like the app and everything was on top of the world. But if you have a dream and a vision and you're dedicated to it, it's going to work out. But you have to be dedicated. You can't half-ass it. If you do that, it's not going to work. So it's especially with now how everything is on social media now, you have a chance to be great, it could be done. What I will tell people is to start off the correct way. Because a lot of times, especially if you're posting on these pages or talking to ambassadors and stuff, if you get something going real quick and early, it'll catch on. But if you start off bad or do something bad and try to fix, like as far as posting something, especially content, it's kind of harder to get that going. So it's easier to catch rapid fire.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to tell people, don't throw anything up online. I see a lot of people just throw stuff online just to have content. No, it's better to have 1 or 2 posts a day or one every couple of days as opposed to 5, 6, 7 just random stuff and bad stuff. So when you put something on there, you have to treat it as like if you're leaving out the house and you go into a meeting, you're going to iron your clothes, brush your teeth, do your hair. It's your presentation. It's a reflection of you. So if you keep your content at a high level, you're going to get the same things back in return. It might not happen today, tomorrow, next week, but it's going to happen.
Awesome. Devon, for the viewers, where's the best way they can find you and contact you?
Just EvolvebasketballApp on Instagram, or you can send me an email at Devon Butler at EvolvebasketballApp.com. Our website is EvolvebasketballApp. Pretty much everything is EvolvebasketballApp. So that's how we branded ourselves, so it's easy to find us. But if you send me a DM on Instagram, I'll respond back right away. Email, the same thing, because I always have my phone in my hand. So, and I'm based out of Atlanta, but we travel a lot. So if you contact me on Instagram, email, on the website, I respond back right away.
Awesome. All right, Devon, I really appreciate this interview. And for the viewers, reach out to Devon if you're in basketball. It's really about connecting with people and sending DMs and really understanding we're all in this together, trying to improve the passion of basketball. So I appreciate your time, man. And that was a great interview.
Thank you, man.
Yep. Take care. You do a lot of interviews, or?
Yeah, I mean, since we're publicly funded now, so we got investment money, so I speak a lot. I speak a lot, so I don't know if you go on YouTube or go if you look up stuff where I speak. I've spoken in front of like thousands of people, so I speak a lot now.
Okay, is that on the Evolve Basketball? Because I was looking at your content. I also saw your personal YouTube page, so I was checking out that content.
I'm trying to. I could send you some links and emails, so like I could send you like my investment pitch and stuff.
Okay, that's cool.
My investment pitch and stuff like that. So that stuff is like on the investment website. So we got like another website because the company is called Evolve Sports.
Yeah. Okay. I need to check that out. I guess that's something I could have asked you is, that's kind of, for most part, with most of my basketball clients, I don't really go into like startup or accelerator. But one of my co-founders, he's launched an accelerator and he was all about like helping people do investment pitches and stuff like that. Was that something that someone suggested you do, or you just?
Yeah, so I was suggested to do it. And so we did it and took the risk or whatever. And we ended up raising $330,000 on a $3.5 million valuation.
Okay. That's awesome. And then now it's just, using that money and investing it wisely.
Correct, right.
Yeah. Like, what are your days like, grinding and training and stuff?
Like really pretty much like this, and then until I go to the gym in like an hour and a half. So I wake up at 5, go work out and play, then come home, maybe take a nap for a little while. But if I'm like wide awake, I don't work. Maybe do a little bit of lunch, and if I go to sleep, it'll be like after lunch. So it'll be like now until like 3:30, and then go to the gym, and then go home. But I get home like around 7 because I do all my training in the afternoon. So I'd be in the gym from like 3:34 to like 6, 7.
Uh-huh. And then in the meantime, like working, it's like making content or producing articles or
Yeah,
networking or stuff like that.
yeah. Email. Well, obviously, since we have investment money, like I got emails, calls, planning events, camps,
Okay.
print shirts. So like all these shirts and stuff, sending out orders and
Yeah.
stuff. And obviously, I have a team, so I have to make sure everybody's doing stuff. So it's a lot of work. So right now, I'm doing a lot now because we're getting ready to release the content with Tori and Prince and Jordan, and then
Uh-huh.
I have calls every day. So like I do a lot of calls. So half of my day is basically calls. Trying to sign NBA players right now. So we're trying to working on Trey Young, working on Luca,
Okay.
work a couple other players. But like these calls and contract talks, like that stuff is a lot.
All right, guys. That was Devin. I hope you guys learned a lot. Something I got to talk to him after the approach was, how he's publicly funded, so I did not know that. But that is something that, when you're establishing your business, you can set it up so that you're thinking long term. You can always raise capital. You can always raise capital and get investors, and that's a big part that I don't really get into because I came from my co-founder kind of brought me into that world when he set up the accelerator, and I never thought that I would meet someone doing that in basketball because typically it's like a training business and stuff like that. But that is something that you guys should consider is if you have an app where you can raise capital, get a certain valuation, you'll definitely, can see the benefits. And then really it becomes, OPM, or what they call other people's money, and really investing it. And really people invest when they see that if you could spend $1 on ad spend or $1 in some kind of content, you could get $2, $3, $5 out of it. Because then it's just the amount of money they invest is they're going to make a return. So I want you guys thinking long term. For those of you who may watch this in some capacity, that there's a lot of ways that you can make things happen. And he did say that we talked about how the algorithms have changed and it's harder, but they may change again. And as more people are getting more comfortable making content, you're gonna have more competition in the space. So just get started today, guys. Start making that content, finding your niche, and if anything you picked up from Devin, it's that it's trial and error, right? You guys have to put yourself out there, create content, see what works, see what doesn't work, and then learn the stuff that's necessary, right? Use iMovie if you have to, get free video editing software. He talked about the technology today. You can record 4K footage on your iPhone, or if you have a Samsung. Really understand and be appreciative of the technologies that are available for you guys to produce content and have impact in the world. I think that if you guys, reach out to the right people, it seems to be now a more networking. Your network is your net worth, right? Using that influential marketing is probably the name of the game now, but you could still get inspiration and passion and find your niche. So whatever you guys find that works for you and that you're comfortable with, you should execute on your strength. Right? That has been my interview with Devin from Evolve Basketball App, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions below on other people you may want to see interview from. And yeah, guys, take care.